Welcome back to Game Crunch, everyone, keeping you up to date with the latest in the video game world. Now today, we're going to go over a couple of the biggest topics happening today in the gaming space, including, we did cover a little bit last week, if you remember, Microsoft's Muse AI and how it's generating in-game graphics and controller inputs. Well, we did see an interview with Satya, Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, and he kind of gives his thoughts on possibly a catalog of AI games coming in the future. We'll get into that in just a second, and then we're going to get into the PS5 Pro and how it's comparing to the PS4 Pro from the past, and we're going to look at some of the viability of the Pro models coming in the future. We'll get into that in just a second. But of course, if you like to stay up to date with the latest in the video game world, consider giving Game Crunch a subscribe. It really helps the channel grow, and if you find any of this information helpful, give the video a like. Without further ado, let's just get right into today's topics. So first up, let's get into Satya Nadella's comments about possibly in the future having a fully AI-generated game library. Microsoft has been making big moves in AI, and now they're bringing it to gaming in a major way with their new generative AI model called Muse. This AI can generate game visuals and controller actions, and the CEO, Satya Nadella, is calling it a game changer. In an interview, Nadella compared the potential of Muse to the first time that he saw ChatGPT in action. He's confident that the AI-generated games will soon become a reality, with Microsoft actively training models to create playable experiences. He described a demo where Phil Spencer used an Xbox controller, and Muse-generated responses consisted with the game, something Nadella called a massive moment. While the possibilities are exciting, AI in gaming still remains a pretty controversial topic. Many fear it could lead to job losses and ethical concerns around plagiarism. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick believes that AI could actually increase employment rather than replace workers. Well, It Takes-Two director Joseph Fares sees AI as both scary and exciting. But the big question here is, how far will Microsoft take this AI in gaming? Will it be used to assist developers or fully generate brand new experiences? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, AI is becoming a bigger part of the industry every single day. And like I said the other day, I think it's only a matter of time before we start seeing our first fully AI-generated games. I predict probably somewhere around the maybe late 2026, 2027, we'll probably start to see some basic games pop up. 2028, we might just start to see some actual good games come out, fully AI-generated. So again, my thoughts on this is basically we're always scared of future technology, we're scared of the internet, we're scared of everything when everything comes out, and so far anyway, nothing's happened. Cross my fingers here, hopefully AI doesn't take over. That's why anytime I use ChatGPT, I always say please, I always say thank you, and I'm always very polite. So that way, if things kind of turn out like the Terminator movies, then hopefully, they'll show me some mercy. They'll be like, hey, that's that guy that always said please and thank you. We'll leave him alone. Now let's shift over to what's going on at PlayStation. According to Circana analyst Matt Piscatella, the PS5 Pro is selling slower than the PS4 Pro did at launch. But before we jump to any conclusions, let's break this down. First off, the PS5 Pro is significantly more expensive than its predecessor, $700 compared to the PS4 Pro's $400 launch price. That alone makes a pretty huge difference in how quickly it sells. Second, Circana's data covers one less week than the PS4 Pro's launch period, so the comparison isn't exactly one-to-one. Back in November, the PS5 Pro had a pretty solid start with unit sales in the same ballpark as the PS4 Pro. And while Sony hasn't revealed the exact numbers, we do know that the PS5 itself is still tracking pretty close to the PS4's lifetime sales, just 1.5 million units behind at the same point in its life cycle. Despite slower Pro sales, Sony's PlayStation business is still going pretty strong overall. Games like Astrobot and Helldivers 2 have been pretty big hits, with Sony doubling down on family-friendly and live service titles. And looking ahead, 2025 is packed with some pretty major releases, including Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Monster Hunter Wilds, and of course, Grand Theft Auto 6. Sony is confident that its upcoming lineup will drive hardware and software sales with more family-friendly games on the horizon. They're still aiming to expand their audience beyond just that core gaming crowd. While it's good to see that the PS5 Pro isn't super far behind the PS4 Pro, but I think this is all just part of that diminishing returns that we've been seeing in the gaming industry, especially since the leap to the Xbox One and the PS4, and now again it hits even harder with this latest generation, that, you know, the graphical fidelity between last gen and this gen is just not that much. And people, especially when you get a Pro version of the PS5, like my PS5 looks gorgeous. Why do I need a PS5 Pro at this point? So I think a lot of people, it's just not worth it to spend the extra $700. I mean, if I didn't have a PS5 already, maybe I'd consider getting the Pro. I think I'd probably just, you know, bite the bullet, get a couple $100 more for the Pro version and get the better one. But at this point, you know, I'm just gonna wait till the PS6. And that's all the news I've got for you today. I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Game Crunch. Of course, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Do you think that in the next few years we might start seeing some AI games? Are you cool with that? Or are you gonna, you know, concord these games a little bit and just not buy them, not play them, just in solidarity against AI? It's interesting to hear the comments that they will have a fully AI-generated game library, and to see kind of how those stack up, and kind of see how the you know, the plagiarism takes into account here. And what do you think? PS5 Pro, I know a lot of you guys, I pulled a lot of you guys a while ago, and, you know, a lot of you didn't really seem too interested in the PS5 Pro, and I think that shows in the numbers. But let me know, of course, do you have a PS5 Pro? Do you think it was a good investment? And in case you missed the last news video, I'm going to put a video over here, and another video you might like over here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.